Hey, YouTube. My name's Maya Underwood. I'm an anthropologist from Australia. Never done a video like this before, so it's going to be pretty rough as guts, I'd say. And I don't know how to edit, so if I stuff up, you're just going to have to deal. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about some of my results from my research in the Zyzz fandom. But before I do... Bit of an advisory, there is going to be profanity in this talk. I cannot discuss the Zyzz fandom without it. So apologies for the language. I did present this at a conference last year. An American member of the audience said that she nearly fainted because of my language. So if you are likely to be offended by strong language, please turn off now. Also, another warning, there is going to be academic content in this. I am an academic. I do think about things way too much. And yes, I am aware that academia is a bit of a wank. So please refrain from comments on that. However, I do think I found some interesting stuff in the Zyzz fandom and I'm wanting to hear what you think about it. So today I want to talk to you about the differences and similarities between being alpha and being a sick cunt. But before I do, I want to talk to you a bit about the guy that inspired this research. Who is Zyzz? Well, a Zyzz Shavershan was a recreational bodybuilder from Australia. He built his body not to compete in competitions, but rather to display at music festivals, in nightclubs, in his everyday life. He achieved some fame online because of his role modelling of a particular aesthetic ideal. He was an inspirational figure because of the transformation of his body. But more than that, he was a master troll and deliverer of the lols. Today I really want to talk to you about his role as a kind of philosopher, in that he presented a certain performance of masculinity as the ideal. Now, I am aware that Zyzz isn't meant to be taken seriously. He is a fictional character created initially by a Zyzz Shavershan, and since his death by his brother Brah and his friends and fans, mainly through YouTube videos. He is a parody, his exaggeration is ironic, but irony, I feel, doesn't cancel out the message that's being conveyed, nor does it simply mean the opposite. Rather, it keeps both messages in place. So I think Zyzz can provide some really valuable insights on masculinity. Now, Zyzz had a huge impact when he died in 2011. In 2011, Australians Googled him more than they did then Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard. Today, there are photos and videos posted of Zyzz on a daily basis. 115 Zyzz Facebook fan pages in English, a similar amount of Instagram fan pages. The most watched Zyzz video, The Legacy, has over 10.9 million views, and a video released on the 5th anniversary of his death garnered 132,000 views in the first 2 days of its release. Now, since Zyzz's death, Zyzz has been mythologized and deified, father of aesthetics, son of Zeus, brother of Hercules. So while Zyzz died, Zyzz definitely lives on. So for the last couple of years, I've been doing participant observation in the Zyzz fandom. I've been watching Zyzz fans interact with each other, and I've been, as much as possible, trying to live like a Zyzz fan by attempting to get shredded, albeit failing because it's bloody hard, I found out, and by posting selfies online, talking to Zyzz fans online. I've also analysed a lot of websites and threads allegedly posted by Zyzz on forums. I've watched over 36 hours of Zyzz videos and analysed all the comments on those, which some of them had over 30,000, so I got huge amounts of data. I've participated through Facebook, mainly in the Zyzz fandom, and attracted 23 Zyzz fans who have talked to me in depth over the last couple of years, all aged 17 to 25 and located on every continent. So today, as I said, I want to talk to you about the differences and similarities between being alpha and being a sick cunt. Now, the term alpha or alpha male builds on the zoological usage of the term to talk about the dominant animal, especially in a single-sex group. It's used in fitness circles, especially by bodybuilders, and the conceptual opposite of alpha is beta or beta, however you want to pronounce it. I'm aware that alpha is used in the broader community in lots of different ways, but today I'm just going to talk about its use as it appears in the Zyzz fandom. And the sick cunt is the other way that masculinity is talked about in the Zyzz fandom. The conceptual opposite of that is the sad cunt, and it's used, it seems to be mainly used in the Zyzz fandom. Now, it does employ the term cunt, which is one of the most offensive words in the English language. It's used to insult people. But in the Zyzz fandom and in Australia more generally, it's also a term of endearment or affection. It's an attempt to relate to another person and establish a bond with them. And I see the sick cunt as a bit of an evolution of alpha. Now, those of you that are interested in this sort of academic angle I'm taking here, I'm framing this research using Connell's hegemonic masculinity and specifically comparing alphas and sick cunts on these key characteristics of what how hegemonic masculinity has been described. Now, hegemonic masculinity is sort of the culturally exalted version of masculinity, the most honoured way of being a man. It's been described as aggressive, competitive, dominant, emotionally detached, as involving and reinforcing the objectification and subordination of women. Now, there's quite a lot of similarities between alphas and sick cunts. They are both self-assured and confident. I'm trying to get rid of that glare. Bloody... There we go. Anyway, I'll have to deal with it. So both sick cunts and alphas are self-assured and confident. They do what they want. They don't care what others think, and they go out and get what they want. They're very proactive. They're popular with women. That is, they attract a lot of women. When it comes to the treatment of women, alphas and sick cunts are quite similar. Women are said to be biologically wired to be attracted to alphas, so they have priority access to women over betas. Women should not be worshipped or chased, according to alpha philosophy. They shouldn't be complimented. And some suggest that alphas should actively insult women. So this is a quote that is attributed to Zyzz, but I'm really doubtful. There's a lot of debate over whether he actually said it, but I'm not sure that he did. But it's attributed to him, the real Zyzz's Guide to Becoming Alpha. Insulting girls does in fact work for getting most girls to want you. It works more on girls that are used to being complimented a lot. You don't have to insult them directly. Most girls are simply insulted when you don't give a compliment to them when they expect you to. Beta example: woman, I got a new haircut today. Man, wow, it looks good on you. Alpha example: woman, I got a new haircut today. Man, I don't notice a difference. You need to be confident. You need to be in the state of mind that you are superior to the girl, especially if they're good looking. If you have trouble talking to good looking girls, try this. Imagine them taking a shit. Imagine that disgusting smell infesting your nostrils. You have the advantage because you know there is a time of day when this girl is absolutely repulsive. Now treat her this way. So alpha treatment of women ranges from just not chasing and worshipping them to actively insulting them. Sick cunts are pretty similar. They have a philosophy of disregarding females in order to acquire aesthetics or dance moves. Zyzz fans talked about how they loved it when Zyzz ignored women in nightclubs and at music festivals. Zyzz himself would be quite dismissive of women. Who's the girl in your display pic? Who cares? He would talk about fucking bitches or smashing bitches. And women very rarely appear in Zyzz videos except occasionally as adornments or as objects to be lifted like weights. There's a revenge narrative that permeates the Zyzz fandom. You know, Zyzz himself talked about how he had a girlfriend back when he was skinny that always looked at other guys with good bodies, and how this inspired him to go to the gym, and how once he got shredded, brushing her off was probably the best feeling he'd experienced in his life. And the Zyzz fans echo this sort of sentiment. They were rejected by women when they were skinny, then when they got shredded, women were attracted, therefore women are superficial bitches, and you can reject them brutally. So in Zyzz's revenge on women and in his trolling of women, which I'll talk about in a sec, he becomes a voice for men who have also been rejected by women. Some examples of Zyzz's trolling: he would have women approach him online and he would sort of string them on a little bit, but then reject them in quite brutal ways and post the conversations onto bodybuilding forums for other men to laugh at. So alphas and sick cunts are quite similar in their treatment of women and with regards, you know, being self-assured and confident and proactive. But there's some important differences between alphas and sick cunts. Now, some participants did say that sick cunt is just the Zyzz way of saying alpha, but I think they are quite different, and a lot of participants agreed with me. Not all alphas are sick cunts, and not all sick cunts are alpha. Comparing them, you know, with regards competition, alphas have to have a certain type of body that commands respect and demonstrates superiority. They have to have a shredded body, and preferably they also should be tall. Being alpha is taking this really competitive approach to life. You know, it's being the pack leader. As alpha status is based on the outcomes of social competition, an individual only knows their status as alpha from other people. So you have to be told by others that you're alpha. To call someone beta or beta is an insult, and it's designed to draw attention to that individual's failure in social competition. Competition among sick cunts is quite different. Sick cunt status is self-defined. It just requires a change of attitude, you know, enjoying life, not putting other people down. Sick cunts are superior to sad cunts, but they don't highlight this superiority in order to belittle sad cunts and make them feel inferior. Rather, sick cunts are nice to everyone and just concentrate on improving themselves rather than putting other people down. They don't take themselves too seriously, and they just go about having fun, improving themselves and being happy with themselves. So when the term sad cunt is used, it's not like calling someone beta. It's meant to inspire. So it's meant to, as Thomas said, wake another person up, to tell them there is more to life than what you are doing. Now, I'll let Zyzz speak for himself here. And here it does seem that Zyzz uses this term sad cunt to inspire other men.
Everyone has a little bit of Zyzz in them. Every fucking cunt out there, you're a fucking sick cunt if you want to be, bro. Stop being a fucking sad cunt, alright? Go out, get bitches, but be a fucking sick cunt like Zyzz, bro. That's what we fucking do, cunt. That's what we do in this shit, bro. You wanna be a fucking little sad cunt? Fuck that shit, bro. Every little fucking hater.
Okay, hang on, I'll just skip forward to another bit here. I am Gen X and therefore technologically challenged, so excuse that.
In life, if you want to be noticed, you got to be a fucking ripped cunt, you got to be a shredded cunt, you got to go to the gym, you got to be a sick cunt, you got to fuck bitches, you know, I'm not gonna fuck you. Because that's what we do, bro. That's what the Zyzz cunts do. That's what the revolution is, bro. None of these fucking sad cunts. We're all gonna fucking make it, bro. That's it.
So as you can see there, sorry, as I said, technologically challenged. As you can see there, he uses the term sad cunt to inspire men to better themselves. And at the end of that clip, he says, we're all going to make it, bro. Now, that we're all going to make it is a really common catchphrase in the Zyzz fandom. It's used to express solidarity and support for each other and to encourage other men to change from sad cunts into sick cunts. So sick cunts actively support each other to achieve their goals, to make it, to, get shredded, to attract women, to be confident. And they do this through guidance on training, nutrition, and mindset. So sick cunts lift each other up and cooperate. They don't put each other down and compete. Sick cunts have empathy for others who need to improve themselves, and they respect others who are new to the scene. As this blogger says, Zyzz generally wasn't interested in putting other people down. That's revolutionary in the world of alpha male bodybuilding. It made a lot of people think, isn't this guy supposed to be making fun of me or saying how much better he is than me or acting really tough? But he's not. He's just dancing and having a good time with his friends, and he's really jovial and kind to everyone, and he doesn't really care what other people think about him doing that. That's weird. People don't act like that these days, definitely not bodybuilders. I kind of like that. I kind of want to be like that. He just went out and enjoyed being a handsome young man without the negative or competitive or douchey one-upmanship aspect of doing so. Participants described supporting and guiding other men. Indeed, one Zyzz fan who had achieved a great deal of shreddedness would help other men and even try to get these other men better than himself. And when it comes to aggression and physical superiority, alphas and sick cunts are quite different. Now, they are both verbally aggressive towards women, but when it comes to other men, it's really quite different. Alphas will sometimes use their body to physically intimidate other men. They will be physically aggressive and sort of stand over other men. What's described in the Zyzz fandom as being staunch. Now, one of my Zyzz fans forwarded me a video of Techno Viking, who's pictured here. You can look him up. And they said, oh, Techno Viking is alpha as fuck. Now, Techno Viking in this video is physically intimidating and stands over another man. So it seems that alphas can be this sort of staunch version of masculinity. But sick cunts are not staunch. They're not hard cunts. Text attributed to Zyzz, my message is to train hard, don't be a hard cunt, enjoy life and don't take yourself too seriously. I'd rather do what I do and have fun than sit back hating on someone achieving something. And apparently Zyzz wished more bodybuilders would use their training and size to inspire, not to intimidate. As one fan says, too many guys try to act hard and get in fights to prove how tough they are. I work out 6 days a week and have got decent strength, but I have never and never will fight. I don't even think it's in my blood. Lol, proud to be a sick cunt. And as another said, the message that reached out to me was Zyzz's love. Stop being hard cunts, accept everyone for who they are. So sick cunts, when they want to demonstrate their physical superiority, they don't do it by standing over people and intimidating them. They do it in this sort of physically passive way by just displaying their superior appearance. Now, they highlight their physical superiority in this playful manner. You mad? I'm styling on your brow with my aesthetics. As one fan said, Zyzz was simply a modern Dionysian, not an asshole who flaunted his physical superiority in others, flaunted his physical superiority to others in order to hurt their feelings. The entire mirin and jelly persona is more akin to horseplay than Zyzz actually trying to incite jealousy of others. Now, when they would invite physical comparison and competition, they did this in this sort of joking way through use of the phrase, come at me, bro, which was popularised by the TV show Jersey Shore and which Zyzz took the piss out of. As was said on this website, despite his saying, come at me, bro, he never actually liked the idea of enticing a fight. This was simply a saying popularised on internet forums and was a way people would troll each other for an aggressive response. It was never meant to be taken seriously. So sick cunts demonstrate their physical superiority not to make others feel inferior or to belittle them. Rather, they do it to inspire and motivate others. And this is exactly how images of Zyzz, the seeker's cunt, are received. Zyzz fans talked about how when they looked at Zyzz, they felt energized, motivated and inspired and never felt insecure or dissatisfied. Participants who displayed their shredded bodies online, as many Zyzz fans do, described a desire to encourage and support other men. Displays of the body were designed to inspire other men to better themselves, to become sick cunts rather than remaining sad cunts, and to promote solidarity between men. We're all going to make it, bruh. And finally, emotional detachment. Now, I couldn't find any information on how alphas relate to each other emotionally. I presume it's the traditional masculine emotional detachment that is characteristic of hegemonic masculinity. But sick cunts are really quite different. They display intimacy and emotional vulnerability in response to videos of Zyzz. They talk about loving him and missing him and crying and all the feels that they feel after watching a Zyzz video. And not only do they love and miss Zyzz, but they also love each other. They'll talk about that and occasionally express love for the whole fandom. Now, of course, we have to remember that there is a lot of humour and irony used in these emotional displays. My favourite quote is, "Fuck, manly tears exploded from my eyes. Let's feel together, bras, fuck, and Zyzz, brah." And they will, the use of irony is really obvious when you look at their use of the deliberately misspelt "I cry every time." Now, they write it like that as a sort of imitation of how teenage girls and women talk about emotion online. So to sum up and compare, alphas seem to really conform to hegemonic masculinity. They're competitive, they subordinate. Betas, they are aggressive and physically dominant. They threaten and intimidate other men and are presumably emotionally detached. But sick cunts seem to be somewhat gender revolutionary. They cooperate and support each other. They avoid aggression and violence. They exhibit intimacy and emotional vulnerability, albeit seemingly ironically. When sick cunts draw attention to their physical superiority, they do so playfully and passively, simply through the display of their body. And they do this in order to inspire rather than subordinate other men. So I see the Zyzz revolution as more than an aesthetic revolution. I think Zyzz represents a significant change in the performance of masculinity. Whilst we're still seeing this traditional subordination and objectification of women, Zyzz cunts are revolutionary in terms of their relations with other men. They are emotional and they provide emotional and physical support. They promote solidarity and deter aggression. Now, of course, we've got to remember there is a lot of humour and irony involved. It doesn't change the fact that these are young men that are behaving in these really new ways towards each other. And I don't think the humour means that we can dismiss all of my findings. Humour can be a way to envisage a new future, a new way of living, to envisage the possibility of new social reality. And humour can be the first step towards social change. So Zyzz, yeah, I'm mirin, but not because of your body, but because of the way that you've inspired a revolution, a gender revolution in terms of how men treat each other. Now, please, I'd love to hear your feedback. I've drafted this stuff as a chapter for a book that I'm hoping will come out next year. If you want to comment, please do so below. If you want to join in the research, chat to me, please contact me through Facebook, Myra Underwood Researcher. And I'll hopefully be back in the not too distant future to talk about the aesthetic ideal that Zyzz represents and the display of the body in the Zyzz fandom. All right, thanks for listening. See ya.